Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report Daily Marketing Tip. Well, uh, we are here at Friday. That's right, guys. Friday. Thank God it's Friday. A lot of you all are super pumped about the work that you've done all week. You've made a difference. You continue to grow. You continue to get better. And that's what this thing is all about. Shout out to you for making it to this great Friday. You deserve the rest coming up on the weekend. Enjoy it. Um, as always, we enjoyed the distribution and distributing the newspaper this morning. Um, it's always a pleasure uh, to definitely recognize and refer these great businesses that are found in the Hill Report. You all are the backbone of any community, any society, and supporting you is the least that we can do as members of this community. So thank you for your service to all of you. Um, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today on this battle tested uh, Friday, this Warrior Friday, is how God crushed your enemies. Now, we are getting into the summer. Kids are out of school. Um, a lot of businesses are really racking up quarter statistics. And what you're noticing is that you have less competition. What you're noticing is you have less adversaries. What you're noticing is your enemies are less effective. They have way less weapons than they had before. A lot of your enemies have been defanged. A lot of your enemies have gotten the bullets taken from all of their guns. A lot of your enemies have gotten the wind taken out of their sails because they were so focused on derailing you that they did not improve themselves. But what you did, I'm not talking about your competition. Your competition went through the hard work that you went to. Your competition got the certificates that you got. Your competition serves customers like you serve customers. I'm talking about those who do nothing, those who just talk, those who always try to discourage others, those who always are on the opposite side of God's plan. When you're operating on the opposite side of God's plan, that's why God crushed your enemy, is because they are operating on the opposite side. They are not able to advance because why? Because God is not opening doors for them. They don't have confidence because they know that they have not supported others, so nobody's going to support them. God crushed your enemies, and he did it for a reason, because this mission is for you. And they were being used by Satan himself to try to stop you from helping the people. They were being used by the devil to try to stop you from operating in God's will. They were being used by the enemy himself to try to stop you from making this community better. God is not having that. That's why he crushed your enemies. That's why your competition, you can coexist with them. You can cooperate them. You can have customer overflow and send them over there. But your enemies, they're not serving anybody. Your enemies, they're not helping anyone. Your enemies, they are instilling and injecting doubt into people's minds because they have nothing but confidence in their own ability to fail. They have confidence in the fact that they don't have what it takes to get the job done. God crushed your enemies. He didn't give them 1 ounce of oxygen to even think that they can throw you off of your path. He didn't give them not 1 inch to think that they have authority over God's will for your life, for what he's going to do in your community, what he's going to do through your business in this society. God crushed your enemies because guess what? They have no say in what goes on in this world, which God created. On 6 days, he created heaven and earth, and on the seventh day, he rested. That order has been from the beginning, and it would never stop. God is the creator. He has a cattle on 1,000 hills, like the scripture said. His will and his plan is not predicated on your enemies. That's why God crushed your enemies right in front of your face to show you that he is in control. There's none other than him. He kills, he makes alive, he heals. There is none with him, as the scripture says. Even in the book of Job, the devil was inquiring on how to throw Job off of his game because Job was operating uh, in a prosperous manner and he praised God. The enemy didn't like that. But as you see, when the enemy was plotting on Job, he had to follow God's guideline for how he tested Job. He had to follow God's rules on how he dealt with Job. God laid the smackdown on how Job was going to get his faith built using Satan's opposition. A lot of you all think that Satan has some type of authority in this world. A lot of you all think that the devil has some type of say in what goes on God's green earth. But I'm here to tell you right now, God is in control. It's his world. It's his will. Even Christ followed God's will. Who are you to try to throw anyone off of God's will for this earth? God's will for their life, God's will for how he's going to use you to touch the community. They have no authority. God crushed your enemies because he wanted you to see that firsthand, right out of your eyes. He wanted you to see that nobody is going to throw you off of this plan. Nobody's going to throw you off of how you're going to run your system, how you're going to uplift your neighbor. God made that one of the main commandments for a reason. Love your neighbor as yourself, which is like unto loving God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. That's his will, that you love your neighbor. Pure and perfect religion, like we talked about yesterday, is visiting the widows and the orphans in their time of trouble, in their time of affliction, and being unspotted by the world. That's a part of God's plan for you, is for you to grow as a person, for you to grow mentally, for you to grow physically, for you to grow spiritually. He even designed the natural order, being born a little tiny human being and you grow into a grown adult. Life is about growth. The natural order of things is about growth. Love grows. No one is going to be able to stop that. That's why God crushed your enemies. I don't care what the devil thinks that he's going to throw in your way. That's just going to make you stronger. I don't care what person the devil puts beside you. That's just going to make you run faster. I don't care what the devil says about you. That's just going to make you prove them wrong. You are operating in a great space. You're operating in confidence. You're operating with love. You're operating with charity. Why? Because you don't need to be jealous of anybody else. You don't need to put anybody else down because God has a plan for you and you know it. He's crushing your enemies. He's going to destroy your enemies right in front of your face. You're going to start, this is a real serious time that we live in. You're going to start seeing more and more and more people get taken off of the map. You're going to start seeing more and more and more people giving up because it's too tough for them. You're going to start seeing more and more and more true colors come out of people because they were not able to hold it together through the pressure. God crushed your enemies because he knows that he plucked you out and separated you from amongst the other people. He's ordained you for his purpose. He's anointed you to do his will. Therefore, no weapon formed against you shall prosper when you're operating in his will. Therefore, not a hair on your head shall be touched when you're operating in his will. And I'm telling you, the enemy who thinks that they're doing things under their own power, that's why they're being crushed. They chose the wrong person when they chose to oppose God. That's why God is crushing your enemies. It's WD3. It's your Here Report Daily Marketing Tip.